Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll go ahead and get started. So we get started, for some of you who may be new to the National Graduate Committee, this is just the structure of the leadership. We have the National Graduate Representative that works with the Graduate Committee, which is composed of the Graduate Committee chairs, graduate advisors, and the 7 regional graduate representatives. Each regional graduate representative is in charge of discussing with graduate student leadership, including the graduate leaders and the graduate. So currently, is the National Graduate Representative. He's a PhD candidate in astronomical engineering at the University of Southern California. Then we have Lucas Herrera. He's the NGC co-chair. He's a PhD student in material science and engineering at MIT. Then we have Mauro Rodriguez. He's the other NGC co-chair, a PhD candidate in mechanical engineering at the University of Michigan. Then we have Edgar Peña. He is the NGC co-chair. He's a PhD candidate in biomedical engineering at the University of Michigan. Then myself, the membership team lead. I'm a candidate in BME at the University of Michigan. And lastly but not least is Peter Rios. He's a marketing team lead, a doctoral candidate in biomedical engineering at Northwestern University. Then we have the 7 regional graduate representatives. Number 1 is Juan Carlos Arrieta. He's a master's in water resources engineering from California State University, Sacramento. Then currently Jose Valle for Region 2, PhD student at UC Riverside. Then Elizabeth Rivera, master's in chemical engineering at Colorado School of Mines. Region 4, Jorge Mojica, PhD in biomedical engineering at Cornell University. Region 5, Marisela Hernandez, master's in mechanical engineering at Lamar University. Region 6, Richard Gonzalez, PhD in chemical engineering at University of Iowa. And Region 7, Elena Bodea, PhD in material science at North Carolina State University. So some of the regional graduate representatives are here to discuss a little bit about what they've done. But first of all, the election process. So if you're running for regional graduate representative, you want to learn a little bit more about what they do. So they're the voice for the graduate students in their region on the National Graduate Committee. They work with graduate leaders, such as graduate ambassadors, to plan and execute programming for the graduate students within the region. And this term is a year, 1 year. So why you should become involved with SHPE as a graduate student? So some of the current benefits include acquiring mentorship skills, as well as leadership skills, such as NILA, which is the National Institute for Leadership Achievement. So a lot of regional graduate representatives as well as graduate ambassadors attend this conference. Another benefit that you will get is basically networking skills. So you will build connections with other graduate students as well as professors and develop potential collaborations as well as future job opportunities. Not only in the postdoc, but also in industry, as some of the graduate leadership tends to work with companies during the SHPE conference. So here are some important deadlines. February 15th was membership payment due to be eligible to run for office or vote, which has passed. But then we have March 15th, that's a deadline for the nomination form with signatures, biography, professional photo, and official transcripts. So just to note that you have to have 5 signatures, and the signatures must be from your own region, from graduate students from your own region. And if you need any help with that, the National Graduate Committee will be more than happy to find you the 5 signatures. Then July 1st, that's when winners will take office. The following link will give you the nomination form. And like I mentioned, NGC will be willing to provide signatures for the nomination. So before we go into more about the regional graduate representative, one thing each RGR helps with is the RLDC. So here are some important dates for each RLDC. So RLDC 1 is March 13th to the 15th in Merced, California. And we will be sending out this PowerPoint with the links. Region 2 is April 9th through the 12th in LA. Region 3, March 26th through the 29th at Logan, UT. Region 4, February 26th through March 1st, Alexandria, Virginia. Region 5, April 23rd through the 26th, Denton, Texas. Region 6, April 16th through the 19th, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And Region 7, March 19th through the 22nd, Miami, Florida. And once again, this link will take you to each RLDC link. So again, yes, in each region, when it's going to be held, and if you would like more information about it, how to register, we will provide these links on the slides. So what we did was we asked some of the regional graduate representatives to give us some tips that they would like to share with the people interested in taking over the position. So here we have, do we have Region 1 in the line? So Region 1 said that his tips are to get acquainted with the local chapter, get acquainted with regional leaders, get acquainted with other RGRs and the National Graduate Committee, get acquainted with communication systems, example, Gmail, Google Drive, GroupMe, etc. And the last one is to don't get discouraged when you don't hear back from chapters within your region. Keep trying and be aggressive. So for Region 2, if you're on the line, would you like to share your advice? Jose, do you have any advice to share? I know you're kind of new in this position. So.
Not so much right now. I'm still getting the hang of everything, and I'm still expanding my network to try to reach out to as many graduate students right now. So I really don't know what to say about that.
Okay, no, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, so Region 3, if you would like to share something. I don't think RGR. How about RGR 4? Would you?
Yeah, I don't think Elizabeth is in the call today.
Okay, RGR 4, do you have something to share?
Hello, hello everyone. I do have a couple of things to say. I would concur with the RGR 1 and their advice with regards to getting to know the regional leaders, chapters, and the national leadership, because those are going to be your right hand at every step of the way. In addition to that, I would also add to, whenever you attend to the national events, meet as many people as you can, and make sure to stay in contact with them, and then work closely with your student representative in the region, because they are going to be, for sure, having better connections that you have across the region. This is very important. Do not be afraid to ask for help as early as you need to.
Okay, thank you, Jorge. So now we have RGR 5.
Can y'all hear me? I didn't have a comment right now. I provided my feedback, so I'll just kind of wait till later to add anything if I can think of anything else.
Okay, thanks, Marisela. So we'll go ahead and do RGR 6 real quick. So some of the tips include build an email list with all grad students of Region 6. Write 3 to 4 objectives that can be quantified. Example, I will recruit more than 10 ambassadors. 3, work closely with the National Graduate Committee. And 4, communicate often with the members in the region with newsletters. So then, from advice from RGR 7 is know who is the graduate membership of SHPE. And what Milena was saying with this sentence is basically, even though SHPE is mainly for engineering, we actually do have graduate students from other STEM disciplines. So just knowing who they are and what they would like from SHPE is also important. Then the second one is why are graduate students members of SHPE? So know why are they involved with SHPE and how you can help them get as much as they can out of SHPE. The third one is know your roles and responsibilities, but be assertive and creative. And the last one is keep together with the graduate ambassadors. And I believe she's referring to basically meeting with them every so often to make sure that if they need any help, that you're there to help them. Okay, so the second question we asked is, what have you accomplished as an RGR this year? So just like briefly for them to describe. So RGR 5 said keeping good communication with the RLVC committee. And then RGR 6 said recruited 14 ambassadors, 10 the previous year, recruited more graduate students in the region than previous year, and help with the logistics of the graduate track preparation for RLVC 6. Any other RGR would like to share? Just briefly, what have they accomplished this year? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. The next question we ask is, what do you think would be good goals to accomplish next year? So for the next RGRs. So RGR 5 says, find a way to get feedback from graduate students before October. And then actively communicate with graduates every month, but not too much. So not weekly. Monthly is, in our opinion, the ideal frequency. Then from RGR 6, good goals for next RGR. Keep in touch with the graduate ambassadors. Plan an outreach activity for graduate members in each chapter. And increase graduate student members in the region. And then the last question we asked was, if you were to be a regional graduate representative again, what would you do differently? So RGR 5 says, make more time for regional graduate representative items in winter break. And then RGR 6 mentioned, communicate often with the region members and encourage participation of students in community outreach activities. So I know the RGRs had additional things to say, so if you would like to share these items, feel free to discuss right now.
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, so I would probably say that, what would I do differently? I would establish some sort of program whereby previous graduate leaders could mentor or at least remain in touch somehow with the rising graduate leaders. And I would also try to identify those rising leaders early on. What I'm trying to say by this is, at least for me as a new graduate member of SHPE, it was really hard to get the hang of everything, including national events, including what the organization itself was all about. I did not participate of SHPE as an undergrad, so I just started as a SHPE member barely 2 years ago, and it would have helped me a lot more if I had been in contact with previous leaders in my region.
Hi everyone, this is Juan Carlos from Region 1. And then from the previous slide, not this one, what would I do again differently? On the previous slide, I would add to get involved in the ROVC planning because this year, unfortunately, we don't have a graduate track for ROVC, and hopefully next year they'll implement a graduate track. So for future RGR, I would suggest to plan with the committee in getting a graduate track available.
Okay, thank you, Juan Carlos. Anyone else? I know a few of you who are in the call are actually very interested in being an RGR next year. So if you would like to ask any questions at this time, we'd be happy to take any questions.
Hi, my name is Maria, and I am running for the Regional Graduate Representative position in Region 6. And I'm currently located in Athens, Ohio. I saw that the regional conference this year was going to be in Minnesota, and that's a 12-hour drive. So I was wondering if you guys know of any travel assistantship to the conference. I know I got assistantships as an undergrad, but I'm not sure if it's available for graduate students.
Hi, Maria. I'm not too familiar with that. Mauro, do you know the answer?
Oh, well, I was about to defer to Edgar immediately. So if Edgar, if you're on the call, since he is actually on the committee for OPC 6, I was just about to defer to him and see if he had any insights regarding travel assistance for graduate students to RLDC. Okay, so Edgar is on the call, but his mic is not working. So feel free, Edgar, to type in the question, and I'll read it out. For the answer to the question, I'll feel free to read it out loud here.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So regarding travel assistance, there is none for visiting students, at least from other chapters. Yeah, generally, yeah, this is true. What Edgar is saying here, that generally the chapters that are participating provide assistance in any way or form. Usually, what the students do is they tend to contact the department or the department chair and fundraise for those funds in order to have both their graduate students and undergraduate students attend the regional conference. Now, what I can say is that for the SHPE National Conference, that's a different topic. Now, for regional conferences, it's a little bit tricky, and the strategy that Edgar just outlined right now is the preferred and the more likely to occur strategy that chapters follow when it comes to sending either their undergraduate students or the graduate students to the Regional Leadership Development Conference. While for the SHPE conference, it works a little bit differently, where many times we have students, graduate students and undergrads apply either for the paper or poster competitions, and then from there, given their how well their abstracts were or how well they participated in the program in the competitions, they are provided travel assistance. So it works a little bit different for the SHPE conference. It doesn't work the same for every conference that SHPE provides, but for the RLDCs, the general strategy is to have the chapters fundraise themselves support the students to travel to the ROTC.
Okay, thanks, Mario. Any other questions?
Well, yes, I have a last question.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I have a last question. I did my undergrad in Region 6, and now I'm doing my graduate degree in, I did it in Region 7, and now I'm doing my graduate degree in Region 6, and my school doesn't have a SHPE chapter, and since I'm potentially running for the Regional Graduate Representative in Region 6, I was wondering how I could go about meeting people in my region. I met some of the graduate representatives and such, but it's been through email, and I don't know if you guys have any feedback on that.
That is a very good point. So the ideal venue for you to meet people at this time would be the Region 6 ROTC. And so we would have to connect afterwards, you, Edgar, and I, as well as Lucas Carreta, who's the other National Graduate Committee co-chair, and discuss the possibilities of making sure that graduate students that are candidates or prospective candidates for the RGR position attend in some way or form the ROTC, and that way they are able to network with the students, specifically the graduate students as well as the undergrad and the professionals that attend the Regional Leadership Development Conference. So let's connect afterwards, offline, and then and see what the possibilities, because that is the first in, well, I would say the event that is the closest proximity, at least regarding time, from which you can definitely begin to network with other students. And then from there we have some other strategies, but those are kind of farther down the line. They're not all conferences. There's some other ways of doing that, but for now, I think the more easiest and quickest strategy is to attend the ROTC. So let's go, we can talk about that offline.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
Oh, well, I did have a comment. I think a general question, and I don't know if it was answered thus far in the town hall meeting that usually is asked is, why should I run? Right? Why should I participate? And I think that's always a big one. For some students, some graduate students, even for some undergrads, it becomes very evident, very obvious. And saying, well, I want to run because of this, or I want to run because of that. And many of them see it because they attributed their success to SHPE, or the relationships and the partnerships and the support network that they built through SHPE in their undergrad. And again, so there's a variety of reasons. Some of them want to start to have that kind of support network in SHPE now that they're graduate students, even though they were not participating in SHPE when they were undergrad. And so they have their various reasons. And what I would try to give you is some qualitative as well as some quantitative reasons. And I hope that there are strong arguments, because that's the point, that there's strong arguments for you to pursue a position as an RGR. And I'll start first with the qualitative of reasons that you should run for an RGR position. The first one is that it's a tactical level position. So with regards to management, the strategic, tactical, and operational levels of management, and the way you can do things and the way you think about things, as an RGR, you work predominantly in the tactical area of management. And because of that, it's what I call, when I think about tactical level, I usually think these are the people that get things done. And so to be an RGR is to be someone that gets things done. And usually people like that. People like being in proximity of them taking actions and decisions in such a way that they're actually able to implement them quickly and see the results rather quickly. And so I think that's always a great aspect of being an RGR, that you're working in a tactical arena. You're able to make decisions, make impact, make a difference really quickly. And it's also a positive difference for the Latina community, and I think that's always great. I think an RGR is a wonderful position. I'm speaking from experience here, even though I was never an RGR myself. I was a regional student representative, which is the undergrad equivalent of an RGR. As an RSR, I always found it an extremely fruitful experience. One of the most favorite experiences that I had, one of the most favorite years that I had within SHPE, because I was able to make decisions that were positive, that were contributing, and I was able to collaborate with a lot of student chapters, a lot of other students, and get and learn from them. It really was to learn and to serve them as much as I could and contribute to their efforts as much as I could, whether it be financial or because I did have a small budget that I could oversee at that time, or just in generating ideas or just sharing ideas amongst the student chapters and the students as well, and also a lot of mentoring and counseling. So I always found that to be a very fruitful experience of being a servant. So if you are one, at least for qualitatively, if you are one to serve, if you are one to contribute, if you are one to make a difference and like to get things done in RGR positions for you, I think that is a very positive thing. So at least from a qualitative, that's a large amount of you giving, right, being a servant. And additionally to that, you do see some reciprocity about this. It's not just about giving. You do receive a lot. As some of the RGRs have highlighted here in the presentation, you do receive a large, vast network. You get to see other graduate students, whether it be the SHPE conference or at another conference that you visit. You get to meet and collaborate and network with them as well. So it's always wonderful when you see when I see graduate students, RGRs as well, meet other graduate students from their region and from different chapters and say, oh, wow, I didn't know there's someone over there in that state that's actually doing research similar to mine, or a completely different field. And so as well, so you get to meet a lot of other graduate students, and that's always great. In addition to that, you also get to meet a lot of faculty, well, not a lot, but you get to meet a few of the very highly motivated and dedicated faculty members within SHPE, and also that are partners of SHPE, and that's always a great way to build your network. And we're trying to expand that even further to make sure that we have other people from national labs, not only academia, but national labs, and also from industry that are looking for graduate students, people with advanced degrees, specifically masters and PhDs, so that they can enhance the graduate network that we have currently within SHPE to make sure that those students, such as the RGRs, have a really strong transition towards the workforce placement, specifically a job, right? So that's what we're looking for, so to make sure that students are able to transition quickly and effectively within the SHPE network. So there is some reciprocity to this, and it's not just about you just giving, you also receive a lot on the other side. So that's a qualitative perspective. Now, in terms of quantitative, I will first start again, at least from the level of contributing to SHPE in the community. I usually always look at it in terms of community, Latino community. Currently, if you were to run some numbers, and you look at the data, specifically whether it be from NSF or the National Institute of Health or whatever numbers you look at, there's approximately, just within engineering itself, engineering alone as a discipline, every year you grab 1 year as a sample size, and there's approximately somewhere around 8 to 10K graduate students that are engineers that are Latino-Latina, or at least identify as being Latino-Latina in the country, in the United States. So that's not including Puerto Rico, so this is just in the mainland. So out of those 8,000 or 10,000 Latino-Latina engineers that they're academically proficient because they're now in graduate school, either in some capacity, whether it be master's or PhD programs, SHPE has struggled, and I say this humbly, that has struggled to connect with them, to gather them, to make a network of them and a community of them, and ensure their success. And we, in the country and the nation, needs their success in order to further innovation within this country. We are still leading innovators, but we feel that position is at risk at times. So it's a great, vital national importance that the Latino-Latina student population, more specifically the graduate population, is always transitioning towards workforce placement and success as much as possible. SHPE can be a very powerful conduit for that. And so for that reason, I say that, when you are an RGR, you are part of making that national difference. Right? You are part of that effort to ensure that more Latino-Latina graduate students are involved within SHPE, extending their network, extending their opportunities for success towards workforce placement, or just in general in academia, or whether it be a national lab, whatever it may be, you are furthering their success. So that is something that is very powerful, at least from a quantitative point of view. Just that thought alone, saying, wow, there's that many graduate students. Yeah, there's a lot of 8,000, but in reality, in respect to the number of Latino-Latinas in the country, there's a disparity there. There's a disproportionality, right? There's not enough of us there. And for that reason, we need more of them there. Okay, then how do we do that? Well, we got to go to undergrad level. We need to mentor them. And who are the people that are in the best position to mentor these undergrads to make sure that we can create more graduate students, or at least try to get more students to apply for graduate school and go there. Well, the people that are there, they're also academically proficient. Well, who are these people? They're graduate students, right? So you're in a very powerful, privileged position as a graduate student to mentor the undergrad, provide them advice, provide them mentorship, and further enhance their academic careers, and hopefully further increase the number of graduate students, Latino graduate students. Even though I did say that there are 8,000 of them in the country, that may seem like a lot, but it's not. There is a disparity there compared to the national average of Latinos in the country, and it's not a couple percent. It is a stark comparison. It's very, very good, very grim when you actually look at the numbers. So for that reason, as an RGR, you're making a difference. You're handling the problem directly. Saying, okay, how do we mentor undergrads? How do we become greater peers as graduate students to each other to ensure that we all succeed, right? And we all go into the workforce, whether it be academia, industry, or national labs, to become successful. How do we do that, right? So you're trying to answer these questions, and through your efforts, you are tackling the problem firsthand, and that's a great problem. I think that's a great way, a great effort, just through your service alone, to challenge this and be more or less a servant, not only with a chip, but also for your community, and that's always a great feeling. So I hope I gave you a good perspective, at least from qualitative and also quantitative, good reasoning, a couple good arguments of why an RGR is a great position. And you're not alone. And that's the other thing I should also mention. And for all of this, I don't want to make you feel like, oh, wow, that's a big responsibility. You're talking about nations, the numbers, and all that stuff, the country. Yeah, but you're not alone. There's a lot of people specifically that have been dedicated for a while within the National Graduate Committee, Edgar being one of them, Douglas being another, and Ana, who's leading the call here, as well as Lucas, who unfortunately couldn't make it today, and also Douglas, who couldn't make it today, that have been working at this effort for quite a long time and have a lot of experience to guide you through these efforts. So you're not alone. And there's a lot of other Latina graduate students out there that are working really hard as well to make this difference. So I hope I gave you some pretty good arguments, but at this point I'll stop and ask if there's any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mauro. So with that, we'll go ahead and do the last question. So the last question we asked the RGRs was, how did you balance work/research and your RGR duties? So the advice from RGR 5 was, ask for help, set SMART goals, set aside a day specifically for RGR items as opposed to every day. And the advice from Region 6 is work on Sundays in RGR related duties. So both RGRs basically are saying that just set aside some time, then dedicate it every day to just doing RGR work. Do we have any other advice from any RGR on the call? Okay, so with that, we'll go ahead and send you, some RGRs will send more information, so I'll compile all that information, and then we will send out this presentation along with the PowerPoint in case you guys have questions, but we'll be on the call if you have any other questions. But thank you again for taking time to join the call and learn more about the RGR positions, and we hope you consider to be the 2015-2016 RGR of your region. Thank you.